Welcome to Tarot Q&A Tuesday. I'm in the Hawke's Bay, or Hawke's Bay as we could say, New Zealand. We have been venturing around, some friends of mine, to the wineries yesterday, and having a bit of a blast. Today I was hoping to show you the amazing place I'm staying. The setting behind me is of an abundance of hills and scenery that is very blissful, and I'm super appreciative. Sadly, in the last 10 minutes it went dark. So here we are, back in the essence of perfect kind of time for tarot, really. So we're going to begin by talking with a couple of people that are on Zoom currently. I'm going to start with Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo, get your person by its toe. Let him go, Eeny, Meeny, Miny. Linda! Okay, we're going to begin with Linda. Linda, what is your question today?
A tiny house or not a tiny house for my next move?
Oh, Linda, this could be fun. I like the concept. You're really moving into that holistic area, aren't you? It's all very aligned with you coming back to some core roots. I can feel that. Linda. Okay. I'm getting a not the next house, but it feels like when you meet somebody you'd like a relationship with, then you step forward into a different living arrangement then. So things in your life might change once you get into a relationship. So we're suggesting not to necessarily rush into anything at this time, but instead just focus on unraveling more of this. It's kind of as if you're going back to a little bit of a hippie time in a beautiful essence of Mother Nature kind of way. Do you relate to that? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does actually, yeah.
And I know actually this is actually interesting because we have had some other correspondence now that you say that, but it's not, where do I just want to pull another card about that just to see what sort of energy that has. Well, I'm going to show you the cards so that you know that I'm not just leaning into the email that you sent me. This is really encouraging people to, de-stress, get out of that overthinking. And I will not go on too much about that today because this topic comes up every single week, actually, which is all about people getting out of their heads into their hearts. And I know that that's part of your dream, is to help people to come into some form of personal care where they can not only, restore themselves but maintain that equilibrium. So it's feeling very on track for you right now, I must admit. Hello, Carmen. How cool that you made it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to read out Carmen's question, and then we're going to do a collective reading for everybody that's watching on the replays. Now if you are watching the replay, if this is you on YouTube, give me a like, a thumbs up. I need that gratification, and I'd love you to subscribe to my channel too. It's time that I started mentioning these things. I've got my phone here with my list. Carmen, may I ask a question to do with whether I stay in the property that I'm in now? I've been thinking that maybe the land space is too big for me and I lack resources to do anything useful with it. So therefore, just getting a few extra people in the room. Let's have a look. Carmen, what is the ideal location? This is interesting that we've got two topics around living environments today so far. Carmen, can we get you into Carmen about what is best? The question we're going to ask is, shall you stay or shall you go is the question we're going to ask. Shall you go? Shall you leave? It's a definite yes, actually, but it's an interesting yes because it's a process of, even though you're moving away from that particular property so that you don't have to do much work, it's actually getting into a property so that you can maybe do work on the place, like build it into something that you actually love. So that's interesting. Are you in a position to buy this new property?
I haven't been looking, but I was just, the property that I'm on is like got lots of land, and I'm like, going, but,
Yes.
so
I understand what you're saying, but if you move from that property, are you able to purchase a smaller property, or would it be a rental? Because a
No,
purchase...
I'll be able to.
Perfect, because that's what it feels like. It feels like a smaller property that you get to plod away at, loving, working, doing it up along the way, putting your essence into it, and really enjoying the process. So it's actually something that you will feed your soul at the same time. So my feeling is, yeah, it is time for a change, and it would be good for you as well, not just in practical sense of finances or practical how much work you can do, but more how you can use that work to explore your own creativity and create your absolute beautiful home. Hello, Lisa in Melbourne. Good to see you here. I'm in Hawke's Bay. It's dark here now. It was beautiful, and letting Leah in the room. Okay, let's just get straight into the collective consciousness card. So for anybody who's watching, who's not asking the question, this reading is for you. Allow me some time to get into this space, and if you, in the meantime, you have any other questions, I'd love to add them to our list. Okay, for everybody that's watching over here right now, we're in these cards. It's this card here. Oh, tricky. This is not an ideal one to get live. Everyone who's watching, we need to understand what this is all about. Okay, I'm going to tell a story. We've got 3 cards here. All of you, everybody here tonight and on the replay, what we've got here is a story of human life. We're always having situations where we've got to make a decision. We've got to decide between this way or that way, or him or her, or whatever you've got to decide. So whatever is going on in your life at the moment that you're trying to make a decision about, the answer is in these other 2 cards. We've got this betrayal, like this is such a frustrating card. It's all about instability, and the instability comes when other people get in the way of what we are wanting. But the problem is not the other people. The problem is, in fact, how we're responding to that situation. So it's about being really clear on our boundaries and communicating our needs politely. This is a very, very, very tricky thing for the average human to do. So in order to make it easier, we need to be able to blend the situation, which is a logical situation you have to make a decision about for general life, but we need to use our intuition to do so. Now this is a big reading for the collective today, so I'm going to go to stage 2 of it, and that is when we have other people interfering with our free flow in our life. It feels like they are just the nuisance, that if that wasn't them being that person, or if this wasn't happening, then everything would be fine. Yet it is happening, and what that thing that's happening is stirring up in us, whether it's anger, frustration, hurt, sadness, a reminder of the past, something that's not feeling great, that is the chance to go deeper into your personal growth and use that as an awareness of your trigger. Okay, so this is complicated to explain in a quick live, but when we trigger, when we have a reaction that feels inside, it just ignites this kind of fire inside. It could be, we're talking on the negative emotional front, which aren't necessarily bad things, they're just on the lower vibration. When we get that and it's interfering with a decision that we're making, we need to take that feeling and look into the deeper side of it. So why is it such a big deal that I'm feeling like this? And when we can understand that why, we then can give ourselves a bit more, we'll just become more self-aware. We just become aware of our reactions, and instead of taking this as a confusing time in life, we use that to help us make the decision that is best for our overall well-being. My God, that's complicated to have to read on a live. I can't believe I got that one. But if that doesn't make sense, someone might like to speak up and just ask for some clarity on it. What it's meaning is, if we have to go left or right and we're stuck because of other people's interference, other people coming into the way of our flow, or something that involves somebody other than ourselves, it doesn't have to be a person, it could be anything that's stirring your frustration. It could be a stranger stopping you from driving fast when you're on the road, and you get mad because they're going too slow. It could be anything. But if you're the one who's getting mad, it's your trigger, it's your stuff. So that's a simple example, is becoming aware that external situations might stimulate an emotion from within. It's not their stuff, it's still our stuff, no matter how wrong that other person is. Okay, let's go on to something a bit lighter, unless somebody wants some clarity on that. Lisa's nodding her head. Does that not make sense, Lisa? Are you confused?
No, it makes perfect sense, and it's probably quite timely. So.
Oh, would you like to share something more? Not really.
No.
Okay. I'm just going to dive straight into George's question. Are things okay in my relationship? George is not on tonight, but she is working late. So let's just pull a card for her because we care. Georgia. Is everything okay? Is there anything to be concerned about? Is everything okay? Is everything okay is the question. More than okay. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's creative. It's fine. It would be really beneficial for you to get out in nature a bit more and just tune into nature so that you can tune into yourself more and you're not second guessing all the time. When we tune in with nature, we are more tapped into our own inner knowing, our own essence, our heart stories. You need not ask me these questions if you're hanging out in nature a little bit more. That is my advice. Your relationship is 100% honky-dory. Good to say. Good to see. Hello, Leah. Can't see you, but it's nice to have you here. Let's talk about Jeremy. He's looking really bored there, drifting off in dreamland. Is starting his master's tomorrow. Was it, Jeremy? You starting your master's tomorrow, or did you just start today? Tomorrow. And you wanted to know if this is going to be a wonderful thing. Is that the question? We already know it's going to be. We got that vibe last week. What else would you like to know? It's going to help you change your perspective on how you see life. I'll tell you that much. And it's also going to bring you into a little bit more of a childlike sense of wonder. It's going to allow you to really feel a bit more whimsical. So seeing life, even though you're studying something fairly serious, it's actually going to help you to loosen up. And I know that you're quite fun-loving anyway, but this is the message. It's just saying that it just helps you to really, maybe it's something that you really loved to, or you were curious about when you were a child anyway. Maybe that's why it's feeling like that, and it just resonates really nicely. I love the fact that it suggests you're going to see things in the world different, because we all need to look at life from a slightly new perspective. We're all different perspectives. We can be so narrow-minded, right? And that just ruins our relationships and our relationships with ourselves as well as other people. Okie doke. Oh, Leah, look at you looking gorgeous there. We're going to whip into Lucretia's question. It's another relationship question. Should I go back to my ex? Of course, I have no idea which ex she's referring to. I'm going to just tune into the fact that the energy of the cards is going to pick up whatever Lucretia's curious about. Lucretia, is it correct action for your highest good, Lucretia, to go back into this relationship with your ex? Is this the card for Lucretia? Hell no! I'm going to end it there. Sorry, was that a bit severe? Probably a little bit cheeky, but no, it just feels like you've got different beliefs and you need to be standing your ground on where you want to move forward in your relationships in the future. And I don't think that's just feels like you're walking back into the past. Now, I've got a big question here. It's a long one. I won't show you the actual words, but this is a question that I'm going to take the time to read out because I really feel that this person is not the only person who has these kind of thoughts and feelings. Okay, this is for Anna, and she says, I'm kind of thinking about life's seasons. I've watched all of my friends marry, meet partners that adore them and absolutely compliment them. I watch how they've bought their homes and have pets and have travelled. I'm happy for them all. I just wonder, when will it be my season? Oh, I get the shivers saying that. I want to believe I'm worthy of all this too, as I have always longed to be a mum and longed to be loved. So, will my season come? I understand that I must do the work, and I understand that I need to have faith and be positive. But I am not finding this an easy journey, even though I'm grateful for the life I have and the people in it. You know, it's a big question and it's a really vulnerable question, and I really honour that person for messaging me that, because it's actually quite hard for many people to actually admit that they may feel these emotions and have these thoughts when on one level they know that they've got so much more than like other people around the world, yet it's all relative to where we are in life, right? And so where we're going to go with this is specifically for Anna. However, we'll just see what messages we get, because I feel there's a deeper vibe going on here for us tonight. So the question I'm going to start with, I think will my time come is a bit broad. I'm going to work with, is there something blocking the flow of Anna receiving the abundance that she deserves simply because she exists as a human, as a soul having a human experience? We've all come in here equally worthy of abundance, love, joy, and happiness. What blocks it is our human ego, our thoughts, and our conditioning. So what is blocking it for Anna? Okay, a little bit of a big comment to make. I've got the King of Swords. Now, this could mean a lot of things. However, the first instinct that came to me was some thoughts around that came from a male influence. It feels like a father, and it is more around adjusting how worthy you felt in, once again, a deep conversation. Shifting some old beliefs that may have been ingrained in you from your earlier years when you were in the presence of a father figure. I'm not saying it was your father, and it's not a blame. As I mentioned before, we all have these experiences. We can take a simple moment as a 5-year-old in a classroom with one teacher on one day, and it can affect us for the rest of our lives because we're so influenced. We're so in a brainwave state in those first 7 years of our life that we soak up everything as if it's true. And I feel that's kind of where a lot of this conditioning, Anna, has begun. So it's really about resetting how you want to see yourself and love and men, your views on men and how you have experienced those sort of relationships. And if you, let me get some more. Hold the line, callers, I'm just tuning in. Oh, God. Whoa, today is really testing for the Fifi Shishi. Yeah, well, this is actually really positive in the scheme of what we're talking about. This is breaking down old ways of thinking and processing life. I really feel quite a big reset is coming up for you, Anna, and it's about busting old patterns that have been rolling around like self-sabotage in your subconscious. I know you may not even feel it, but I feel that you think you probably know what this is. You can contact me separately and privately to get more details on that, but let's just see what else we can get as far as going into will your time come? Is this possible for you to overcome, and is it most probable that you will overcome these blocks that are just energy? It's just energy that has been stuck because of old conditioning. I'm keeping this word simple, so I hope it's enough information to explain what I'm talking about. Yes is the answer, and yes is the answer to the possibility of having children. It feels quite strong. So there's a lot of processing to do. It is likely that you might need some assistance because we're human and we need people to help us along our way. It's not a negative thing to ask for help. In this case, I am feeling it is more around some actual, not therapy as such, but something that helps you to heal and reset the way you see how life works. Really tune into the laws of the universe and start working with your own energy consciously. Oh my goodness, guys. I'm like building up a sweat here out in this freezing cold because these are heavy cards tonight. This is full on, right? Okay, we're going to go into a lighter question, I think, hopefully. Ashley's a newcomer to Tarot Q&A Tuesdays. Her question, just want to ask if I'm on the right path as we've got a lot of new things happening in our household at the moment and it's all so overwhelming. Am I on the right path? Ashley. Just want a yes or no to begin with. That's going to be an easy start to this one, isn't it? 100%. I'm not sure what these changes are, though. Can't get a strong feeling about that. This overwhelm, what do we need to hear about that? A lot of new things happening, overwhelming. I mean, yes is the answer to the question. We need more questions, Ashley. How am I going to work with that? What else can we tell you? We're going to get another card because we just like to get a bit more juice into the scene. I hope one of you guys, Leah, are you conjuring up your own question there as I'm doing this? Yeah, Ashley, it's a time for this overwhelm is an opportunity to go into that, the softer side of yourself, the feelings. Okay, so we are talking vulnerability here. This is in alignment with the collective conscious group card I pulled. It's about being communicative with the people in your household on a really empowered, vulnerable way. This means not playing victim. It means really having real chats, real conversations, real connecting conversations that will in fact increase the love and decrease the overwhelm. So an example is to literally say to someone in the household, I'm actually feeling quite overwhelmed. There's so much change. I was a bit hesitant. I do feel excited, but how are you feeling about it? You know, for me, this comfort zone stuff was easy. This has kind of taken me into an excitement, but I'm a little scared. You know, just really feeling and talking about what's going on, and then you can share the experience with each other. And it's so much more connecting rather than when people don't talk about what they're deeply feeling, they build blocks and bridges and barriers and shields in front of the ability to have closeness with each other. Does that make sense? Are you guys on board with this? Everyone's so quiet tonight. Melissa, can you please come online and ask me your question? Oh, yes, sorry, Leah, I got your question. That's right. Melissa, is she still there?
I'm here, sorry.
What was your question again?
I'm at the Women's Expo
That's
in
right.
a couple of weeks, and I'm just wondering how's that going to support my business, I guess. Is it going to really boost my business?
Is this Women's Expo productive for Melissa's business? Question, the answer. We have an answer in this. yes, more in an exposure of getting seen and known as opposed to picking up heaps of clients. It's the starting point to get your face out there, and it's very important that you start appearing in places that people go, oh yeah, I've seen that logo, heard about that, I've heard about that. So yes, it is really good. It's like a PR stint rather than a advertising to make sales stint. So I would definitely say it's a time for you also to tell your story to clients or customers as they come into the show. It's about having conversations that are emotionally connecting. So talking to people about why you got into the business and how you feel you can help other people through that process. So if it's to help, say, women to feel more comfortable in their own skin, then that's a great story to tell how you got to that space. And then immediately you connect with your customer. And of course, you need to have that relationship when you're doing your line of work so they feel comfortable to be themselves in front of you when you're working with them. So it's quite a neat thing. So I think that's actually a real key there, is sharing what your message is to the world through doing your work. What are you doing your work for? That's the key chat, as opposed to the practical, logical ways of you work. You probably would have done that anyway, but that's what's come up as be the beautiful queen that you are and ooze that open, heartfelt, emotionally connecting energy with everyone you talk to, and be passionate. And I feel that you will build some really nice connections. Wait for the sales to come in months to come, not from that directly. So yeah, get your face or your logo everywhere. Cool?
Thank you.
All good. Alrighty, let's get into some physical well-being. We are talking to Leah. She has sent a question about weight loss and well-being. She's a little bit unmotivated at the moment, would like to drop a few kgs, and her question is, shall I try hypnotherapy for weight loss, or can I achieve it on my own with exercise? I'm struggling with motivation. Do you need to be going to a hypnotherapist? Leah. No. However, we will continue with that answer because that's not very helpful. That might not be a bad thing to do, but the process of your so-called weight loss, we're going to call it coming more and more into your own beautiful self, is a steady, slow, bit by bit option. It's not, you cannot crash diet. It's simply a way of you gradually shifting piece by piece lifestyle changes. So this means one day at a time, doing the best that you can, creating new ways of doing life that are always going to be there. So you might lose, 800 grams one month and 1 kg the next, and then 200 the next. But it's you learning new ways of being that you will just naturally stay in that weight. It's a change in mindset, types of food, eliminating types of food. In fact, the exercise isn't even a huge part of it. That feels like it's more for your mental health. Not that you need it for mental health, just for general good, freshness, happiness, well-being, energy. The process is more adjusting how you eat day by day, and also how you think. All right, might want to launch into that. Any other questions, Leah? How could we ask more questions around that for you? Would you like to know something specific about, like, is there any eating regimes that you know of that you'd be interested in checking out? There's so many concepts out there that you can follow these days. So what's resonating with you as something that you're drawn to as a new lifestyle? Like they've got the whole intermittent fasting, paleo, keto, maybe just cleansing on certain days, or vegan, meat eater.
Yeah, I'm just not very good at following those types of fad type diets.
Definitely don't do it as fad. It's not for a fad. It's something that, it's something that becomes you. So it's definitely not fad. If you had to...
Lisa, this?
No, actually. That's not coming up as it's not coming up as the key thing that needs to be adjusted.
Excellent.
It's not saying overindulge either, of course. It's sort of more... gut health.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's got the strongest focus. And when that is in better health, you'll naturally have better hormonal function and absorb your nutrients better, so you'll have less cravings and you'll feel happier and be more motivated, because obviously the gut is directly connected to the brain and helps us to process serotonin better, and also helps us to process our hormones at this age that we have found ourselves at. So when the body can't process things like estrogen because the gut's not functioning at its optimum, then it just has excess and it gets stored and the body doesn't know what to do with it, and we just feel disgusting. That's just woman midlife.
That sounds good.
Yeah. Too much information?
No, that sounds good. That sounds good.
Alrighty, let me just check my little list. Oh, we've got Alia. We're going to do a beautiful love question. As you know, timing is not the forte, because it's all about the divine timing of when you're doing your personal growth and expansion. And if any of you read the quote I put on the email to you all today, it was all about remembering that when we stop growing and expanding as people, we are dead. Like, ultimately, just look at the nature. If you see a flower that stopped growing, or a tree, or anything in nature that stopped moving and doing its thing and experimenting and working around all the obstacles that the weather and other plants cause, they keep going and they keep thriving. But humans don't. They get to a point and they go, no, I've done enough. Well, actually, that's when you stop having a good life. So that's my thought of the day. Alia wants to know when her partner could be entering her life, or whether she actually already knows this person. Alia. Okay, do you know this person already? Do you know this person? Does Alia know her next relationship, the person she's having the next relationship with? Does she already know this person? Oh. Possibly in a work scenario where not necessarily somebody that's at your work, but more connected to, you might have met them before through the ins and outs of daily activity. Not a client. I don't think you know them. You might just have had some association. When will you meet them? Not going to be held to ransom with this, but I'm going to say a 10. It feels 10 months more than 10 weeks. However, let's just see. That's what I've got. Give me some juice, guys. Any extra info? Just make sure I haven't forgotten anyone. Alia, Leah, Ashley, Georgia, Lucretia, Carmen. And that's all for now. All right, guys. How long have we been going for? Plenty of time. I think we should get off now. I mean, unless you've got some goodness. I'm gutted. You can't see this beautiful scenery behind me. Maybe you can. No. Hawke's Bay. Went to Craigie Range for lunch today. Beautiful. And now I'm doing a live after that fiasco.
Can you tell me, please, am I going to make some friends at Little Mr. H's 5th birthday party?
Little Mr. H. Sounds a bit cute. Who's little Mr. H?
H for
Ah.
Harry.
Friends. When's the party?
5th or 7th of September. It's on a Saturday.
I'm not really thinking that's where your new peeps would be. I'm getting more that wellness, yoga-y vibe is pretty much more appropriate. It's not that you won't have a nice time, but not really not emotionally connecting. That's just but it's not to say don't go. I just don't think you're going to find your new best friend there. You ask, don't ask if you don't want to know the answer. Nah, love you lots. All right, lucky duck, enjoy the Hawke's Bay. Thank you. Okay, it's time to say I love you and leave you for a week. Oh, that was quick. She just disappeared. See you next week. Nice to have you here. Bye.